Welcome to yoga, everyone. So I have my mat turned this parallel way right now, and I'm going to leave it that way for just a little bit here at the beginning of class to show a couple things from the side view, and then as we get going into some sun salutations, I will turn it back the other way. You don't have to turn your mat like this. You can leave it however you're used to having it, however you want it. Just doing this for a side view purpose. We are going to start yoga class today by laying down for a little bit of breathing. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Feel free to bring a block in. If you want to place a block underneath your knees at all, like a little bolster, that helps the low back, can make you a little more comfortable. And let's start with arms long by our sides. So feel like you're going to reach through the fingertips, pulling those shoulders away from the ears. And as you take a great big inhale, we're going to take those arms overhead. And then as you exhale, let's bring those arms back over the top. So inhale, sweep those arms up and over, lengthen. Exhale, arms come back. Let's do a couple more like that. Good, leave those arms relaxing by your sides. And as you breathe here, trying to feel your chest rise and fall with that inhale and exhale. Mouth is closed, breathing out, in and out through the nose. Let's bring the hands across the chest so that you can feel the chest lift and rise as you take that inhale. And then you can feel that chest sink back down on your exhale. Let's do one more like that. And now we're going to bring the hands on top of the belly button. So you want your middle fingers to meet right on top of your belly button. So now as you take a great big inhale, try to fill the belly with air and see if you can get those fingertips to move apart. And then on the exhale, allow those fingertips to come back together. So this helps you try to take a longer, deeper breath. You're not just filling the lungs, you're breathing into the belly as well. go ahead and remove the block if you're using it. We're going to draw the knees into the chest, hugging them in nice and close. And go ahead and give yourself a little side to side rock here. Let's drop out arms like a T, and we're going to set those feet down. Let's take a nice big inhale while the knees are in the center. We're going to exhale as we drop knees to the right. Let's inhale, bringing knees back to center. Exhaling as we drop knees to the left. Inhaling, knees center. And let's go side to side a few more times. Let's do one more on each side, and then we'll meet with those knees back in the center. All right, we're going to do a little wind removing pose. So we're going to take the left leg really straight. I'm going to flex that left foot so that we leave as much of the back of the left leg on the floor as possible. We're going to interlace all 10 fingers, and we're going to grab on just below that right knee. We're going to pull that right knee out to the side slightly, and then we're going to try to draw that knee up toward the shoulder, but pulling down toward the shoulder as well. So it's kind of like you're pulling up and down. Breathing here. Good, let's release. Let's take that right leg long, and let's hug that right leg long, and let's hug that left knee. Take it out to the side. We're pulling up and pressing down. Good breathing here. All right, let's release. And now we'll pull both knees in. Feet are side by side, not overlapped. And we're gonna hug those knees in. We're gonna take those forearms across the shins, and your goal is to try to reach the opposite elbow with those hands. If you can't reach all the way to the elbow, just grab on somewhere in the forearms. But trying to reach for that opposite elbow to have a good grip, and then pulling down, trying to hug those knees in as tightly as possible. Good breathing here. We're trying to get as much of our spine down on the mat in this pose as possible. So think about trying to lengthen the back of the neck and feel like you're pushing the tailbone down towards your mat while you hug those knees in. Nice big deep breaths. let's release. Let's put those feet down. We're going to do a little work with bridge. So check and make sure you have about the size of your fist that fits in between those knees. And we want to try to keep that same distance throughout our work here in bridge. We're going to start with our arms long by our sides. And we're going to first start by flowing through bridge. So we're going to inhale as we tip the tailbone up and peel the spine up one vertebrae at a time. And then as we exhale, lowering back down, rolling the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Taking your time, moving slowly with the breath. Feel as if you're lengthening that spine each time you lay it back down on the mat. Now on this next one, let's meet up at the top. So find a nice high bridge. You're activating the back side of the body, the glutes. Feel pressing through the heels. And now we're going to roll the shoulder blades toward each other, rolling those shoulders in to see if we can clasp those hands underneath us. Trying to get those arms long and straight underneath your body. Trying to keep that fist size in between the knees. Good breathing. You should be able to see your chest rise and fall. One more inhale as we release the hands and shoulders, and then we'll exhale as we lower back down to the mat. All right, we're going to go up one more time in bridge here. An option to do a one-legged bridge if you want. I'll talk you through that, or feel free to just stay in our regular bridge. So let's peel it up. Roll the shoulder blades in, the shoulders in. An option if you want to stay here or to lift and straighten one leg. If you've got one leg lifted, let's switch and do the other leg. And we'll release. Take one more inhale. Go ahead and release the hands and shoulders. Exhale, rolling all the way down. All right, we're going to do a little abdominal vacuum, which we sometimes do in Pilates, but this is just a good abdominal exercise. So staying right here, we're going to inhale as we take the arms overhead. Great big inhale. On your next inhale, let's roll it up into our bridge at the top, but leaving those arms overhead, filling the lungs fully. Leaving the hands there, we're going to exhale one vertebrae at a time. Come down even slower than you were in our last bridge. Try to feel each vertebrae press into your mat. Keep exhaling. And once you're at the bottom and there's no breath left to exhale, you can bring those arms back over. As you pull those arms over, seeing if you can keep this concave scoop you created in the abdomen with that move that we just did. So we're gonna hold it there for a few breaths. So, try to hold that belly button in, hold that concave feeling. Try to breathe a little more into the rib cage. See if you can get your rib cage to expand out to the sides, since we're not going to be doing as much of the belly breathing as we were before. And relax. Okay, so the key in abdominal vacuum move is that you're still exhaling. We're exhaling as we lower that spine one vertebrae at a time, but the biggest scoop, the biggest thing happens if you can be exhaling as you're pressing that low back, that lumbar spine down into your mat. So we're gonna do it one more time, and I want you to see if you can really be exhaling at that point. So let's take those arms overhead. Let's roll it up into our bridge, and let's take a great big inhale here. And then exhaling one vertebrae at a time. Keep exhaling the whole way down. Once that low back and sacrum are glued to the mat, you can then pull those arms back over. Try to feel that good scoop. We're going to hold on to this, but breathe. Okay, go ahead and relax. All right, let's roll over onto our side, and we're going to find our way to extended child's pose. Resting that forehead on the mat as long as that's comfortable on your neck. Trying to sit back on those heels. Giving yourself permission to return to this posture anytime you need it during our practice. And we're going to add some movement. So let's inhale as we rock forward, finding that kneeling plank. And let's exhale as we stretch it back. Feel the abs engage and zip in as you come into the plank. And then stretch it back. And when you're ready, let's add our chaturanga move, keeping those elbows in close as we lower and press back and stretch it back. Let's do 2 more, and we'll meet back in that extended child's pose. Turning this into our half series vinyasa flow, let's inhale coming out. Exhaling as we lower with control, elbows staying close, lowering all the way down. Inhale, slide forward into cobra, engaging the low back. And then exhale as you press down to send yourself back. Let's do that 3 more times. After you're finished, meeting back in extended child's pose. And let's lift those hips, tucking the toes under, and we'll find our way to our first downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and walk those feet. One heel presses down and then the other. Meet back in down dog. Tipping that tailbone up nice and high. Feel like you're trying to push your mat toward the front of the room. And now let's slowly find our way to plank and then back to downward facing dog. Taking your time as you move into plank, zipping those abs in. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. And now we're going to turn that into our half series vinyasa flow. So inhaling into plank. Once you're here, you have that option to put your knees down if you'd like. We're going to exhale as we lower with control. Elbows stay in close. Inhale, up dog, or you can stick with cobra. Exhaling to down dog. Let's do that 3 more times. Meeting back in downward facing dog after the last one. Let's put softness in those knees, and we're going to walk the feet up toward the hands, and we're going to find a forward fold. You can always bring your block in here to bring your hands on if you need to bring the floor up a little closer. We're going to walk those feet Pressing down through one heel as we lift the other. And let's place both heels down. Let's put some softness in those knees, and we're gonna rest the torso on top of the quads so that we can release the arms and shoulders, the head and neck. On your next inhale, let's come up halfway, half lift, lengthening that spine, and then let's exhale, returning to that easy forward fold. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, releasing. Option to have the hands on the front of the legs, or you can float those arms out by your sides, or you can mix it up. Let's do one more half lift. And then we'll meet back in our forward fold. Let's inhale as we sweep up. And now let's exhale as we swan dive. Inhaling up. Exhaling on the way down. Trying to keep that nice flat back. And then at the bottom, you can soften those knees to release down. One more swan dive. Let's inhale up, and this time we're gonna exhale and find our chair. Feel that weight move into the heels. Arms can be extended or hands can be at heart center, your choice. You want an inch or two in between the knees, weight in the heels. And I'm gonna turn to the side and talk about a little alignment in chair. And it's something I oftentimes catch myself doing, and sometimes it just has to do with your body. But a lot of times when I come into chair, I've got kind of almost a dip in my low back. And you really want to have a flat back. So if I tuck my tailbone under slightly, that's a slight movement, that helps me flatten out that back. So this is very, it's kind of hard to see, especially if you're far from your screen. But here's a dipped, kind of arched low back. And then if I tuck my tailbone under slightly, I can flatten out that back. And that's a much safer, more stable position for your chair. Are you guys ready to flow chair now? Let's inhale, sweeping up. Let's exhale as we sit back. So think about maybe a slight tuck under with that tailbone. to find a very stable, flat back in your chair. Let's hold the next chair down here. Option to bring those hands to heart center again. You can stay right here with weight in the heels, or you can try that balancing chair and pick those heels up, balancing on the balls of the feet and the toes. And let's come all the way up. Grab a sip of water if you want, and we're going to put that all together. Okay, so some sun salutations. Today we're going to add in a couple of hamstring stretches while we do our sun salutations, because after that we're going to do a standing forward fold, and then we're going to do half moon pose for balance, which if you have a nice warm and open hamstring, it will help you in that posture. So let's start in our good mountain pose. So let's feel like we have those toes spread apart, those feet equally grounded into the mat. Zip the abdominals up and in and feel yourself grow taller as you do that. Let's roll those shoulders up and then back, and then let's reach through the fingertips to pull those shoulders away from the ears. Let's inhale as we sweep those arms up. Let's exhale as we swan dive. Hands come down. Let's extend the right knee back. The left knee follows, and we'll find that extended child's pose. Let's move through one